My name is Kristian, and as you can probably already tell, I'm a lot of fun. Just an example there for you of the kind of fun that I can bring to any given situation. It was a Mexican wave, but none of you joined in, so clearly you're not on my level. I might be a bit much. Perhaps I'm overwhelming you with the sheer force of charisma that I've brought to the stage. So it's all right. I don't want to scare you. I will tone it down. How is it now? Hello. I don't normally record these video blogs from in this room, but the camera was already set up, and I'm lazy. So this is where we are now. And this is the new table setup that we did for the Good Society the other day. Oh, this video is going out on a Tuesday, you may have noticed. That's unusual for me. Well, I haven't had any videos out for the last couple of weeks. So I was meant to do a live stream, and that didn't work. And then we didn't get a video out this weekend just gone because I was very ill in the week. I'm still a little bit ill now, but I was ill in the week and very kind of burnt out a little bit. Just live stuff, but also the studios. There's a lot of organisation going in at the moment to getting the shows running, because I will now have a RPG show every Tuesday from now on. It's pretty good. So this is my first Tuesday episode, and then next Tuesday will be part 1 of the Good Society, which we just recorded, a Valentine's Day special, the Jane Austen RPG, and then that will be a 3-parter. And then immediately followed after that will be a 3-part of Fate Accelerated. And then shortly after that, there may be something in between, but shortly after that, the first season, like full proper run season of the TTRPG show, the actual play show, will start running, which will be myself running Fate Core, which was sort of working towards, this whole thing's been working towards ultimately. So that's going to be coming out every Tuesday starting next week, and then my video blog coming out every Saturday, which is a lot of work, obviously, but obviously the RPG stuff we're getting in the camera, we're not filming that every week, we're getting like a big batch filming of it, and then I'm just going to edit it so that it's able to go out. So we've already got 7 weeks worth of footage shot for that now. So I don't have to film anything again for a little while. We'll film again in March probably, but yeah, there's a batch of that ready to go. I'm thinking there's a few more making ofs. We'll have some behind the scenes stuff of the actual show itself, and then some more making ofs there, but there's only, I think, a couple more probably of these making of vlogs ready to go, or that will be filmed. But this one I just want to talk about myself, because why not? There is a small team of us here, and obviously there's people playing in the other games and the larger shows. But it is, and my other half did suggest that the reason this is called Kristians Brain, because that was already my Twitter handle, strangely. That was already my Twitter handle. My other half said, well, why don't you just call the channel that? Because it is basically just me. We do talk to some, we haven't got any producers on board yet, although I'm in discussion with some. But at the moment, most of these blogs, if it's just me to camera, it's probably just me in the studio alone, pressing record on the camera and then coming around to sit down. So it really is, and all the organisation for the RPG shows is kind of is me poking people to do stuff, and putting ideas together. The only thing on these videos that isn't just me is the logo, which my brother designed. He's a graphic designer. So she was like, well, why don't you just call it Kristians Brain, because it's your channel really. It's I didn't have enough ego, I guess, to front that myself. But then she said it, I was like, you know what, that does make sense. I would still say that I am primarily a writer. Writing is still what I want to do. It's very hard though, and also I don't really know. I've never quite managed to pin down how you're supposed to make a living out of that. Like, I send scripts around. Not as much as I should, for sure, because I don't always have something written that's kind of ready for that market. But I try to enter competitions, and I try to send things to maybe agents or production houses and stuff. But I don't have the follow through with that. I don't have the hustle. That overwhelms me very easily. That side of things. I'm someone who badly needs like an agent or somebody to tell me what to do. because that I'm so very easily overwhelmed. This I can do great. I can produce this show, I can manage this studio, I can build this channel and the series that we're running on here. For some reason my brain can handle that because I have total control over that. No one can stop me, no one can tell me not to do this. It's YouTube, anyone can put anything on YouTube. No one's stopping me from doing this. I don't have to appease anybody. Audience, obviously, lovely audience that's out there, who I'm very, very grateful for. But yeah, I wouldn't know if I had to if there were people that I had to answer to, I wouldn't know how to do that. I would be too confused to do that. I don't interact well with others. I don't know if that's a weird confession to make. So I fall apart quite easily there. This is actually the third time I've attempted to film this video. A few weeks ago I tried to do it and I just couldn't focus because it was a bit too personal. And I tried to get it out the weekend just gone, something for Saturday, but it got quite dark. I filmed it at home, so it got lighting wise it was quite dark because it was just in my home office. This wasn't really designed for this, but also the subject matter got quite dark because I was still feeling kind of ill at the time when I recorded it, so I needed to re-record and lighten it up a bit. I haven't produced anything I've written for a while, but part of the TTRPG thing is that I want to I enjoy running the games much more than I enjoy playing them. I will disengage quite easily, just because I need the constant stimulation, otherwise I can't really focus. So being the dungeon master and being having to take 5 or 6 different inputs at once, as well as balancing the story, that just works better for me. Whereas if I have a single task to do, I will go off the rails quite quickly, because I just can't concentrate. I don't know, there's probably a name for that. Someone in the comments is probably right now typing, "You have this, just fucking take some pills or something." So yeah, thank you whoever in the comments is desperately diagnosing me from their armchair. That's much appreciated. I'm sure I have something. Everything's diagnosable these days. But yeah, so I write short films, I write web series, I've written some feature films. I submit stuff around the usual places. I've done a tiniest bit of acting, which I quite enjoy. It's quite fun. I've done some stand-up, as you saw at the beginning of this video. I want to do more stand-up as well, because it's something that I can control. So it's me on a stage talking to the audience. That's totally within my. It's quite scary in its own way, but it's something that it's just me. And I have total control. I don't need to appease anybody else. I don't require anybody else to be in the mix of the creating that. I just write something and then I say it. That is sort of my level of a level that I can work on. So I did enjoy it quite a lot the few times I've done it, and I do want to do more of it. I have directed and made films. And I'm editor. I edit all of these videos on this channel. They've all been edited entirely by me. No extra effects or anything. Nobody else is in the mix currently. I've got some people I know who do this professionally, who I will tap up if and when we need them. But yes, this is all me at the moment, because I enjoy it. I enjoy being sat at the computer in the edit suite, figuring out how to splice things together. I did learn it in university. I did learn Avid, which is what I have at home. But a lot of it's been relearning it over the last year or so, in order to do this, and then trial and error, just kind of learn by doing. I'm a bit of a learn by doing person, so I just sort of muddle through. I'm quite good at muddling through and figuring out how to set things up. Like I had some help with the camera setup and everything for the games and stuff, but again the crew is pretty much just me and one other person, me and Gavin, who probably will never appear on camera because he doesn't want to. Just the two of us just figuring it out really, because it's not exactly our speciality. But yeah, I'm quite good at muddling through and figuring things out that way. I also used to work at a board game cafe before the pandemic. I worked at a board game cafe. It was one of my early jobs coming to London. because I was already obsessed with board games. I got into Critical Role very early on. So I'm talking like before in the single figures episodes. Is when I kind of latched onto Critical Role because I was a fan of the Guild and Felicia Day's work, and then Geek and Sundry came out, and then Critical Role appeared on it. And I'd played role playing games before, but I didn't have like a regular group, and I hadn't played D&D in forever. I didn't play D&D basically, apart from like maybe once or twice back in school, and Will Wheaton's Tabletop on there as well, and then found like Shut Up and Sit Down and the Dice Tower and all these things on YouTube that slowly grew a board game obsession, and then I started working in a board game cafe called Cakes and Ladders, which was in Wood Green. It's not there anymore. It didn't survive the lockdown, unfortunately, which is very sad. But it was on a double-decker bus, which was pretty cool. And I would teach games there, and I would do, the barista, being a barista thing as well. So I had all those kind of skills, and then I would also run the TTRPG nights. So I would run Learn D&D nights there, and I was running 3 or 4 groups of D&D at one point on a regular basis, 3 or separate groups of players. And I was teaching them D&D, despite the fact that I was, at the time, basically just learning D&D. And I was learning D&D, and I pretty much learnt D&D from watching Critical Role. I kind of picked up the basics of the game there. And again, always looking to get back into film, because film was where I started. Film was what I studied at university. I went to university to study screenwriting as well, and writing in general. And I ended up, by my 3rd year, just doing video production pretty much. I just kind of switched at university. I sort of found it, and then just slowly my course transformed over the 3 years until it was the course I started with, which was a writing course, and I graduated with a video production course, video production degree. So my course was completely different by the end of the 3 years than it was when it started. I wasn't uninterested in it, but I really found it in university. And we left university and we made a number of series and shows and movies that we kind of had a very small success with online. Enter some competitions, you do all the usual kind of things, but there's only so much. You can only do that for so long before you A, burn out, and B, suddenly realise that you're a grown-up now, and you have to actually like make money and have a finance yourself in some way. So we end up doing other stuff. Eventually found the job that I'm in now. I run the audio room for a kit hire house that we hire out to all sorts of things, independent productions, but also some BBC productions, some big stadium productions, a lot of live music stuff we do. And I realised when I was thinking about making stuff that I was running all these games and I was watching all these actual play shows, and I had access to all the camera equipment, and to a level where most people won't have access to, and I suddenly realised that I could probably, if I had the space, if I had the location, I could do this kind of show relatively easily. Not easy, it's a lot of stress and a lot of work, but compared to some people's positions, I was in a very strong position to be able to do this. So we searched for a location and eventually found this one. I've spoken about this in previous video blogs. Now the original intent, of course, was to have a actual play channel, and then have this channel just to test stuff and theorize and like muck about and learn to edit and things like that. Just to have this channel as the experiment. But because this channel has had a little bit of success and it's kind of like found its feet, which is great, then I think we're just going to stick to this channel. So this is going to be, we're not going to launch the other channel now. We're just going to have this channel, and we're going to launch the show on this channel. So the actual play stuff is going to start appearing on here, as I mentioned up top, every Tuesday. So every Tuesday will be an actual play episode, and then every Saturday will be a video blog. It might end up being Monday night and Friday night, but that's the kind of time. But I am very excited to do the actual play stuff. I am very excited to do that. I really would like to make a go of that, because it's such a good format for telling a story, and especially in a way that I like to tell stories, in an improvised or a linear way, whereas I just sort of start and just go and just see where the story takes me. I don't often have a plan. I don't know where the end is. I don't know where the setup is. I just know I just take a scene and I will just write for it, and then I'll just keep going. And that's why role-playing games work really well for me because I'm creating the story, bouncing off of the players to build the next moment and the next one and the next one and the next one. So it all kind of flows organically, and then just allowing the players to put their input to flow the scene from scene, and then me just trying to tie it together so it makes some sense. Kind of corral the snake so that so that there's some vague logic or through line to it, rather than it's just a load of randomness that makes no sense. But anyway, that's me for this first Tuesday video. Keep an eye out next Tuesday for part 1 of The Good Society, and then that's the 3 parts of that will go out, and then some Fate, and then the actual show. Ooh. So keep an eye out for all of that, Tuesdays and Saturdays. We have a Ko-Fi support page, which we would very much appreciate anything to help us, keep the lights on. I will talk about the finances of this place in a upcoming video, probably in a couple of weeks' time, just because I've got to kind of collect my thoughts on all of that. But yeah, we have that support page there, which I don't promote enough. It's brand new and I don't promote it hardly at all. But yeah, I will start doing that. I have all my social media links in below. You can watch other videos. We've got some actual play stuff that's already on the channel, as well as the more making of and video blog, the essay kind of things that I've been doing. If I'm gonna wrap up this making of series, let me know in the comments stuff that you think I need to cover, or you would like to see me cover. We will when we start recording the show, I will run interviews with the cast and things, and get everyone's kind of like vibe. But yeah, let me know anything that you would like me to cover in the comments. So yeah, so if I survive this all the way to the end of 2023, with building this studio, launching the channel, producing multiple series of a show, moving house and getting married. So if I'm still alive at the end of this year, then I can do anything. I hope that I survive this year. That's a dark note to end on. Is that a dark note to end on? There's nobody else here, so I don't know who I'm talking to. Yeah, the end. That's probably me. Yeah, that was I've been me. You were also here, so we all did something, didn't we?